Hello, my name is Eric, and today I'm going to show you how to change the rotation on a Oil Gear PVWJ C-frame pump. This procedure is going to be the same for a PVWJ 064, 076, 098, and a PVWJ 130. I have on the table a PVWJ 098, and it's a left-hand rotation pump. On PVWJ pumps, if it's a left-hand rotation, the suction port will always be on the bottom or the side opposite the control. The pressure port will be on the top or the same side as the control. When I switch to a right-hand rotation, and I have a right-hand rotation valve plate here, the two ports are going to change position. As you can see, the suction port is now on top, the pressure port is on the bottom. These are separate, differently machined components. We cannot take a left-handed valve plate and simply rotate it 180 degrees. That will not work. We will need to source the correct component. So I'm going to go ahead and finish removing the valve plate on this pump. It takes a 13/16 box wrench. I'll be loosening these large cap screws. As I do this, I'm decompressing the spring in the fulcrum ball. That's a spring that holds our shoes down onto the swash block. Loosen these evenly. A C-frame pump I can do on a table like this without any lifting equipment. If I get a pump much larger than this, a PVG 150 or especially a PVG 180, at that point I'd like to use lifting equipment or possibly an assistant. Finish loosening these cap screws. As I loosen the cap screws, the fulcrum ball spring will become completely relaxed, so the valve plate is not going to come off or not going to pop off. The valve plate's rather heavy, so I'm supporting the weight of the valve plate. Allow me to take these cap screws out. And one more. When I change the rotation, the valve plate's the only piece I need to change. There's no need to change the swash block or to change the control. Final cap screw. We're able to remove the left-handed valve plate, and now we can install the right-handed valve plate. And before I go ahead and assemble these, I like to make sure that my cylinder barrel is not moved. I push on that and I can feel that I'm compressing the fulcrum ball spring. And typically I take some of the fluid in the system, I lubricate this face, but most especially this face. From the factory, this new valve plate hasn't been run yet. So I want to make sure I have this face very well lubricated before I run the pump for the first time. I always want to make sure that I check my O-rings. I'm going to have one high pressure O-ring and again the O-ring for the case. We want to make sure that those are still in place. And again, I'm supporting the weight of the valve plate so I can tighten the cap screws. And at that point, I can put the third and fourth valve plate screws in, tighten these down evenly, and also be sure to torque these to the correct torque specs, which I'll show below. Also, since we changed the rotation of the pump, it's always a good idea to change the name tag indicating a direction of rotation change.